For the Flock family, welcome into another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock, as always bringing you all our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Ravens today. Today we got a post-game edition after the game against the Atlanta Falcons and some other updates.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.
The Ravens have some sleeping giants, some really young talent that's emerging and is ready to really make an impact on this team. The first one is the second-year linebacker Trenton Simpson, who's continued to play really well, not only in training camp, in practice, but that has translated onto the football field, and you can watch the All-22 and see him flying around, shedding blocks. He's explosive. He's good in pass coverage with that really nice pass breakup on that tight end on that third down after David Ojabo applied the pressure. And David Ojabo, who we're going to talk about, is going to be a big X factor in the pass rush department this year. But Trenton Simpson, a lot of us Ravens fans, we know about Trenton. We know about how talented he is, about the talent coming out of college, but he's starting to catch some national media members' eyes as well. Scout D says Trenton Simpson has been impressive this offseason. He looks to take over the Patrick Queen role in year 2. Despite being drafted 86 overall, it's a third-round pick, Simpson was our linebacker 1 and 39th overall prospect in the 2023 NFL Draft. That shows you the type of talent the Ravens continue to add massive value in the draft. Same thing with David Ojabo. Just a few years ago, he was consistently a top 15 prospect of all the players coming out for the NFL draft. David Ojabo, top 15, but the Ravens get him in the second round because of the injury. Trenton Simpson, same thing with Kyle Hamilton, who was supposed to be a top 5, top 10 pick, falls to 14. You can look at Justin Madubuike, the all-pro defensive tackle who led the NFL in sacks, who the Ravens got in the third round. The Ravens do this. They get really high talented players, high caliber players that fall down boards, and the Ravens pounce because they're not so locked in on drafting a specific position for need. They just take really good players, and then those really good players will become a position of need in a few years. That's why the Ravens are consistently a successful team, 3rd overall in total winning percentage in the entire NFL, 2-time Super Bowl champions despite not being in the league that long compared to other teams, and consistently a playoff contender. But Trenton Simpson's another one of these guys where the Ravens just really got a talented player who had a year to develop behind Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. Anytime he got on the field last year, he looks really good. Now he's ready for his role, this season as a starter, and here's what he had to say via Bowie TV.
I'm blessed. I'm learning. I'm getting better, and I'm getting more confidence. I'm ready for week 1 because I've just been stacking days every day in practice, going out here in these preseason games, getting better with every opportunity I get. So I'm blessed, and I'm excited for this joint practice with the Packers, and just go out there, have a great game Saturday, and get ready for the Chiefs.
At number 2, the Baltimore Ravens are also really good at finding undrafted free agents. One of these guys is Dayton Wade. He has now led the Baltimore Ravens in receiving yards the last 2 games, despite being an undrafted free agent rookie out of Ole Miss. He runs a 4.4. Is underrated as a route runner. You saw the double move that he put on for the bomb 50-yard touchdown from fellow undrafted free agent quarterback Emory Jones. But how about 2 receptions for 67 yards and a touchdown? And he led the Ravens in receiving last week as well. I also think that Keith Kirkwood continued to put some good stuff on film. And Tylan Wallace, of course, another big catch. Really nice catch. He had 1 reception for 31 yards over the middle of the field. And last week he had that nice catch on the sideline from Josh Johnson as well. I think Tylan Wallace has earned his spot on the roster and is fighting for actual playing time with the first-team offense when it comes to the regular season this year. Dayton Wade, Kirkwood, Malik Cunningham, Anthony Miller, all fighting for this 6, possibly 7 spot at the wide receiver position. Sometimes the Ravens keep 6, sometimes they keep 7. Typically, however, they keep 6. And after what Dayton Wade's put on film so far through 2 weeks, and depending on what he does in the last preseason game, if he doesn't make the Ravens roster, I'm not sure that the Ravens would be able to sneak him onto the practice squad because of what he's put out there for NFL film evaluators. At number 3, David Ojabo and Adisa Isaac continue to flash. Check out this clean pass rush win rep from David Ojabo, where he threatens outside, then puts an inside swim move and absolutely smears the quarterback with a nice quarterback hit that he logs in the box score. But if you were to simply look at the box score, it wouldn't do David Ojabo justice because he was continually causing pressure, making the quarterback make quick decisions. He was really stout in the run game, setting the edge. In fact, he posted an 80.9 PFF grade. Now, Adisa Isaac, he got some snaps as well, and I thought there was one rep where him and Ojabo kind of met at the quarterback and both won their reps. They didn't win them right off the get-go, but they won. They got back there at the quarterback, flushed him out of the pocket, and Adisa Isaac was showing me some encouraging things, after not playing much this entire offseason. So David Ojabo and Trenton Simpson, these are the two X-factor sleeping giants on the defense because the Ravens have studs at all three levels. The secondary especially is loaded with Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams, Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens, Nate Wiggins, and then Roquan Smith in the middle, all-pro, and then up front, Justin Madubuike, all-pro. The X factors, right? If you add another stud next to Roquan Smith in the middle and Trenton Simpson, and he plays well, and then you add someone else that can win up front alongside Justin Madubuike, and then you see Owe, what we've seen from him in the past. If we get some of these pass rushers and then Trenton Simpson to have big years and to really break out into what they can be, then you're talking about a really, really potent defense. And what I'm trying to say is, if David Ojabo and Trenton Simpson don't explode, and they're not like these Pro Bowl caliber players or, big-time starters for the Ravens, I still think the Ravens defense will be good. But for them to be elite, if David Ojabo emerges as a pass rusher, consistent threat, and a force, especially with the attention that Travis Jones and Madubuike and Pierce are going to be taking on the inside, and the attention that Roquan Smith gets, like these other two players could mean a world of difference for the Ravens defense. Here's a look at the highest graded Ravens from PFF. Josh Johnson with a 90.6 grade. David Ojabo, 89.5. Trayvon Mullen, shout out to him for coming back and having, he's battled with injury since he's come to the Ravens, but it's a talented player. He started for the Raiders a few years ago, 88.4. Talon Wallace, 81.7. And fellow wide receiver Keith Kirkwood, 79.2. At number 4, let's go back to this 90 grade from quarterback Josh Johnson. The quarterback play was much more encouraging overall. Josh Johnson, a lot of fans, I'm telling you, I saw my comments blowing up every single video I would post about the backup quarterback position being a problem. And we've addressed it. We talked about it because he didn't look good. That's just the honest truth. It wasn't a great performance against the Eagles. We talked about the Ravens signing Ryan Tannehill. We talked about a Tyler Huntley reunion, and if he gets cut by the Browns because he's on the roster bubble. I don't know if he heard some of the rumblings going on, but the dude silenced a lot of it. Like, he came out 11 for 11, 120 yards, literally perfect. Didn't have a single ball touch the turf. 90.6 PFF grade, 142.4 passer rating, and a touchdown, and he was slinging the ball around, hit 8 different receivers, distributing the ball well. Josh Johnson had himself a day. He did ease some of the tension from a lot of Ravens fans about this backup quarterback position. The other guy that looks pretty good, undrafted free agent quarterback Emory Jones, 7 for 9, 100 yards, and a touchdown with 150 passer rating. He had that really nice ball to Dayton Wade where he hit him in stride for that big 56-yard touchdown. Emory Jones showing some flashes as well. Devin Leary, his stock is going down, to be quite frank. The thing about him has been he's got a strong arm. He can fit it into tight windows, but the accuracy and the decision-making has been a little bit lacking at times. At number 5, let's just give a huge shout-out to a lot of the undrafted free agent rookies because some of them continue to shine, specifically Emory Jones, who we just talked about, Dayton Wade, and safety from Maryland, Bo Braid. Now, the Ravens, I don't know what it is, but every year seems like they find multiple, at least one, if not multiple guys that join the team, weren't even drafted, and they come in and they'll end up having a big role for the Ravens and being a starter that year. We've seen it with guys like Michael Pierce, Keaton Mitchell last year. We're seeing it this year with Dayton Wade, Bo Braid, Emory Jones, some of these players that look really good and promising that'll either make the roster or make the practice squad with a chance to be called up at some point in the season. One guy that we were kind of excited about was undrafted free agent from last year, the rookie Owen Wright, who had a nice first preseason game, didn't look as good in the second one, but the run game as a whole didn't do very much. The Ravens' leading rusher was Chris Collier, and that was only 29 yards, but on 12 carries, so only 2.4 pop. And then John Kelly, recently signed after being released by the Browns, averaged 4.2 yards per carry with 5 attempts on 21 yards. And by the way, Bo Braid led the Ravens in tackles with 8 total combined tackles. So let me know in the comments section below, who out of these young guys, who are you most excited about, whether it's a rookie or a guy going into a second or third year like Trenton Simpson, like David Ajabo. I'm really excited for those two guys, but we're 18 days away from kickoff versus Kansas City and 6 days away from our next preseason game against the Packers. And this upcoming week, we're going to have some joint practices with the Packers. That's going to be really fun. Good work. I'm really excited for that because the Packers have some really good young talent, really young receiving core, Jaden Reed and, Romeo Dobbs. And, they got Jordan Love, who just became, one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL after a really nice season last year. They got a young, hungry defense. They're a good team, a playoff team last year. So they're going to get some really good work, against some really good scheme. And it's going to be iron sharpening iron in that practice. I think it'll be good work for the Packers and the Ravens. So make sure you got your subscribe and notification bell on so we can keep you up to date with all the reports coming out of those practices. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next video.